Alright guys, Brian here with VetteSource. We're back at it again today in the sauna. The rain from last week has finally let off for us, so we're back to our normal broiling hot temperatures. But of course we're going to keep moving forward and onward, and we're at a good spot here. We're going to start actually putting things back together again on the Yellow Grove Formula 350 that started out as a tune port injection teardown, and we got farther into this. So what we can do now is kind of start slowly bringing ourselves back out of the burrow here, the rabbit hole, so we can get back in to get this car in shape. Maybe I can enjoy it by September if I'm lucky. I still have a few more things to do, but that's the nature of when you get into this. So today what I'm going to work on is putting back in. We've got everything painted and cleaned up, and you can see everything's looking nice now. This came out a little bit shinier than I wanted to, but that's okay. I'm not terribly concerned about it. What we're going to do now today though is we're going to go ahead and throw our fuel lines back in. We're going to run our wiring harness up to the front here, and then we're going to go ahead and put our fuse block terminal back together, throw the brake booster in there, the washer bottle fluid and the cruise module will go back in, and that'll probably do it for this video today, and that'll get all our inner components here put back together. And then what I'll do next time is we'll move on to getting that cylinder head and that exhaust manifold back on, and we'll move over. I'm probably not going to repeat the process for the other side, but we'll get it done. So just as we talked about the other day, there's really not too many fasteners involved in all this getting the wiring back together. But the few fasteners you use, you're going to want to make sure that they're done correctly. Now, I may have touched on this before, but of all the things that the engineers do when they're putting these cars together, I'd be willing to bet you dollars for donuts that one of the biggest things they look at, honestly, is the running of the wires. And the reason I say that is because with bad wiring locations or things of that nature, you've got potential sparks and fuel ignition and all kinds of stuff that could go bad that you don't want to have happen with a consumer with a vehicle. So they take this very seriously, and every wiring harness has a spot where it's supposed to go. So when it's not routed correctly, it becomes very apparent and obvious that it's not in the right place. So you've got to make sure that everything's right and everything's tidied up so you don't have loose wires. And I tell guys that too, when you're building your hot rods and stuff, it's one of those final detail items that makes or breaks not only the looks of the car, but the safety of the car too. Because I can't tell you how many cars I've torn down, guys, that I bought out of the salvage that burned down simply because A, they had the wiring routed incorrectly or kind of spotty wiring, or B, when it did catch on fire, they didn't bother even to put a fire extinguisher in their $100,000 bill. So it's one of those things that for a $20 fire extinguisher, don't destroy your car. So what I'm doing right now here is I'm going to go ahead and hand tighten my fuel rails back onto the rail, the frame rail, I should say. And these are easy because there's a locator tab right here that puts those where I need them to go. I'm going to get those in, get these started by hand just to make sure I'm not stripping my bolts. Okay, try to keep sweat off of my brand new paint job there. Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and get these tightened down. So we got those two 10mm sheet metal screws in there. Those are done. All right, and then what I'm going to do here is over in this location here, I'm going to move the camera just a little bit so you guys can see with me as I'm working. Let's make sure you can see what I'm seeing. Okay, so right in here, we're going to go ahead and get this mess out of the way. And this is where I talk about proper wiring is important, or the routing of the wiring. And this one will go there. This should probably, I'll fix that in a minute. So what we're going to do here, you see these clips here? These will hold these right here. Those will hold those to the rail. And this one here will go into that section, this clip that's on the rail right here. Okay, those rails are in place. This we can get to here. We'll get the fuel rails out of the way. Okay, now we're gonna move back to our score off the 92 Camaro RS that we got that part there. Let's go ahead and move this camera over this way. Maybe see if I can get you over here so you can see what I'm doing. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. Okay. And then all we're gonna do here is we're gonna go ahead. Now this routing, this cutout here specifically is for the large one here, the cruise circuit is going to go right here first in this captive loom, okay? And then over here we're gonna have the thicker one, and actually we can close that there. And then our secondary loom, which is our forward lamp harness, is gonna go in there behind that. And then this one here being our fusible links to operate the car and the fans and other things like that goes in there. And we'll tuck that in that corner. And we're gonna close that. This is gonna come forward just a little bit more than where I have it right now. There we go. All right. And then, see those two tabs right there? We're just gonna throw that in the frame right there. And that is that part of it right there. Okay, so let me get set up for my next section here so that I can go ahead and put our connector back here that we found on that Pontiac Transport the other day, and then we'll tie in the bulkhead and then we'll go from there. I'll be right back, guys, okay? Okay, so we're set up now for installation of our specialty clip that we scored out of the Pontiac Transport, and that simply is to hold that harness down right there that you can see right there, to hold that against the frame so it doesn't go anywhere. So let me go ahead and open this up. Actually, I'm gonna put that over there. Actually, let's tie both of these in here since they're here. Keep these out of the way. And there's our locator pin in the frame rail. And we're clipped. Very nice. Okay. So that keeps everything out of the way. And see what I mean? That's when I'm talking about specific routing of wiring. These have one touch spot on those fuel rails right there, but everything else is kept away from the rails so that we don't have any electrical and fuel together. Now, this is the one odd part about these Firebirds and Trans Ams and Camaros, is the location. Let me pivot my camera just a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. Make sure that's a good angle. There we go. Okay. All right. So these, of course, are those relays that go on that bracket here in the corner. And there's our connectors for our headlight bracket, or headlight module, I should say. So then here's our forward lamp harness and main engine harness going in right here. I'm going to go ahead and put that into place like we had it before. And start our process of getting this one in. This one's actually fairly easy, even though it looks difficult. They make it so that it threads in there really quickly for you, so you don't get stuck. Let's see here. My ratchet will cooperate. Oh no. Huh. There we go. On camera failure of our equipment. Gotta love it. Okay. Looks like I'm off to buy another ratchet. Okay, so we will hand tighten this as much as I can right now. At least get it started. Okay, that one's hand started, but it's in there. And then of course what's gonna happen here, these wires will go right over here in this corner. These will go on the side here. What I'm gonna do real quick is go ahead and throw my brake booster in here. Let me grab my brake booster. Still need to kind of clean this thing up, but I'm gonna put it in here for now if I can keep from scratching everything. Let's see if that'll go in there for me. There we go. All right. Okay, so the brake booster's in. I made a little bit of a mess there in my freshly painted area. Making more of a mess. Oh, look at this. Okay, I'm gonna stop right now. All right, so those wires go underneath here. These wires go above here. These are gonna go right here. And then of course this to the headlight module. So that's pretty much it for our wiring, guys. As you can see, that actually came out looking pretty nice. I'm still probably gonna clean that brake booster up a little bit, but we've got it located and visualized so we know where everything's going again. All right, so real quick, let's go ahead and run our cruise module over here. So I repositioned my camera because I can see I'm kind of crooked. There we go. Okay. So again, these are just two more of these 10mm screws right here. I'll save that for later because that's no good anyway. And then we're going to come in from the bottom side, locate this tab, this hole here. Where are you? Go. We got one in. And we got two. All right. So, okay. And cap goes there. Nice little finishing touch. Let me go ahead and grab the last part of our washer overflow bottle real quick. I'll be right back with you guys, and we'll put that on and we'll finish this up. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with our overflow washer bottle. So we're gonna go ahead and just locate this in the corner where it goes. This is pretty much the easiest one to get in here. These are just these little plastic Phillips head screws that screw down in here. And it's got one at the top, one at the bottom, and we're done. Okay. Get that in there. Okay. All right, so this is looking pretty good here. Let's go ahead and go a wider angle view here just a little bit. So obviously this cable's still no good. what happens here, this one runs, I'm going to look at my other formula. So I think what it does, it runs underneath, back through here, like this. I'm almost certain it goes across right there. Okay, and then let's go ahead, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. While we're here, we're going to put that relay center in. So let's see what that looks like. It's hard to get to. Okay, all right, guys, that's it, man. That's basically our components, listen to me, our components located. I've got to go ahead and still splice this in. I'm going to do that off camera just while I'm working. Still need to find another one of these. I'll probably look for that on Rock Auto. Put that headlight module in and that, and then we'll just work on this other side here on Friday or Saturday when I get back to it. So that's going to wrap things up today, guys. I'm rather pleased, other than we'll go ahead and put this in, see how it looks while I'm sitting here closing things out. But yeah, everything came together pretty nice. I appreciate you sticking around and watching the video, and I see some progress being made here. So should only take me another 6 months to finish, but no, I am joking, by the way. So we've made a lot of progress here. We got things done, and now I'm just talking as I'm looking at things. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching, and what we'll do is we'll check back in towards the end of the week. I may actually try, I discovered this GoPro has a little live stream capability, so I may try to do a live stream of putting the valve seals back into the cylinder head, and see what you guys think about that. If I decide to do it, it'll be on Friday night. I'll let you guys know the day before. Well, that'd be tomorrow if I'm going to do that or not, and then we'll test it out and see how it works. So thanks again, guys, and we'll catch up with you next time. Okay, talk to you then.